Good morning, this is Lisa, and I am here with my Elements jewelry working on my second series of earth. So for this series I have lots of different seeds and nuts that I'm going to resin today. And I wanted to give a little quick tutorial about how to resin and some tips that I've learned from doing this for a few years. So thanks for joining and let's get started. So first you're going to need the items that you want to resin, and that can be it can be shells, it could be bottle tops, it could be anything that can hold resin inside. You're also going to need a plastic cup and a spoon or a knife for mixing, and then you're going to need your resin. This is the kind that I use, Envirotex Light, and it comes with two parts. It's a two-part resin, epoxy. So there's the hardener and then there's the actual resin. You can see right there. So the really important thing, oh, and you want your gloves too because it gets very sticky. The really important thing about working with resin is that it needs to be exactly measured, equal parts. Otherwise it will turn out gooey or it won't come out right, and that's happened to me before. So be careful about that. So what you're going to do is open both your hardener and resin and mix them in your glass. Okay. So here's what the folding technique looks like. It's kind of like with a cake when you're making the batter. So you're not just going to start to mix it up right away. You want to start to fold it so all of the parts can incorporate. There's going to start to be little bubbles, air bubbles, and that's okay because after you pour the resin, you'll be able to get rid of those. I'll show you a trick. So just keep mixing for a few minutes, and it should start to turn a more clear color. So now I have my epoxy mixed equal parts, and you can see it's a pretty clear color. It has lots of little bubbles, but that's okay. So today I'm going to try a little different technique using resin, and just to use it to create a shine on my objects instead of actually filling an object and putting it inside. So it's kind of like to add texture and shine on the outside. So I'm just using an old paintbrush that's already messed up, and I'm gonna just paint the resin on the outside. So I'll start with this this pine cone, and I'm just gonna paint a little bit to cover it. Yeah, you can tell it's turning it darker. Okay. So in this case, there's not going to be too many bubbles, but if you are filling like a bottle top or a bezel, if there are bubbles still on the surface, what you can do is just blow. The heat of your breath will get rid of the bubbles, or use a hair dryer if you don't want to be close to the chemicals. So that's what resining is, and I'm going to let these sit for probably 24 hours and then check on them. Another good tip is just to put a little dot of the resin mixture on the wax paper on your surface, and you can check that to see if it's dry, and that will indicate if the rest of your pieces are dry, and you won't have to get fingerprints on them. So that's my resin tip for today. Thanks for checking it out, and stay tuned for my Earth series on Etsy. My Etsy shop is etsy.com/shop/elements, ELMNTS. Have a great day.